How's it going there today, everybody? This is Michael out in Maui. Aloha. So if you've been enjoying all the content I've been putting out, I recommend subscribing to the channel. By subscribing, you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. At the moment, I'm putting out 3 videos a week, straight tutorial on how to throw or putt. So today I wanted to talk about why is it when you throw forehand, you can snap the disc harder than a backhand as a backhand. A lot of times when you're throwing a forehand, you'll throw a more overstable disc. A lot of times as a forehand thrower, you're going to throw a more overstable disc because of the torque and power you put on the throw. It can make an understable disc flip really quick and you're going to lose it. You're going to throw it, it's going to flip up and it's going to fly to the left. So a lot of times people will throw a overstable disc so the disc can handle the power of the forehand release, that extra snap. It's easier for it to handle the overstable disc. So why is there a difference that you get more snap on the forehand than the backhand? So when you're throwing your forehand, the first thing you realize is you don't necessarily follow all the way through up here with your forehand. A lot of times a forehand will throw just from here and stop right here. You don't bring it all the way around up here. So how is it that when you're throwing a forehand, you have less follow through, but you're actually throwing more snap on the disc? Because like you were saying, you have to throw an overstable disc. The reason is the tension in your arm. When you're throwing a forehand, the tension is easier to build up in your forehand when you're throwing that disc. A lot of people probably don't even notice the tension that's in their arm, when they're throwing a forehand. But when you're throwing forehand, your forearm tightens up and it keeps your arm bent here and it keeps it here. My arm isn't straightening to throw the forehand, it's bent. That bend in the arm and tension in the forehand makes your arm stop. And that allows the disc to fire through. And like I said, the reason everybody does this correct is that they're not even paying attention to it, but they're actually doing good arm tension. So when you're running up to throw a forehand, you take your grip and you come up, you're here, this arm stops. And you can see the disc is here, and because your arm stops, now your wrist can fire through because your arm stopped. And that's where you're getting the snap in on the throw. So like I said, it's just here. So, because you take your stance, you're here, and you can see the disc facing forward and the arm is still right here, bent. You can throw here just with the snap of your wrist harder because of the tension in your forearm. But more people do this correct. That's why, like I said, everybody throws overstable disc, when throwing forehand, because of the snap you're going to get on it. So tight forearm. So that tight forearm you need to bring into your backhand. When I'm throwing backhand, I need my forearm to be tight with my grip to mimic the tightness on the forehand, because you need to create the snap on the disc with the wrist. And the only way to create that is from arm tension. So when you have arm tension now on your backhand, when my arm fires through, the tension is going to stop my arm on a bend. This bend. It's the same bend from this side. Bend. So when I'm throwing backhand, the tension keeps my arm from going straight. If my arm goes straight, there's nothing for my disc to snap against. Your arm has to stay bent, so your arm stops here, and then the wrist fires through as you pull through. So by having arm tension, you're going to be able to snap the disc harder. Because like I said, it just needs to mimic, you know, the forehand. Forehand tension, bend, backhand, arm tension, stays bent, disc fires out because of the tension in your arm here. So you can see the finish, you know, and then as you come through, you know, and follow through. So I just recommend when you're throwing forehand, slow it down a little bit and just kind of feel the tension that you're putting in your arm. And then when you go throw your backhand, put that same tension. And you're gonna notice you're gonna get a better snap on the disc. It's all in the arm tension for both throws. Forehand, backhand, it's all in the arm. So anyways, this is Michael out in Maui. Aloha.